Great.
So hello everyone, my name is Julia, and on behalf of Cambridge Assessment English, I would like to welcome you to the first day of our online conference, Become the Teacher You Want to Be. Please put a plus in the chat box if you can hear me well. We just want to check the sound. Wonderful. So, Cambridge Assessment English helps teachers prepare for a lifetime of success in the classroom, driven by our belief that better teaching leads to better outcomes for learners. We work closely with teachers to help people learn English and prove their skills to the world. Our qualifications are globally respected as the quality standard for teachers of all levels of experience, whether you are in an inspiring, developing, or experienced teacher, we can support your progression, open doors to exciting career opportunities, and help you give your students the best chance to realize their potential. We have a great range of resources, materials, and qualifications to help you define your own personal professional development journey. Everything is based on frameworks to help you identify where you are in your professional journey, where you want to be, and how you can get there. The first day of our conference is devoted to qualifications for teachers, CELT-P and CELT-S. So I would like to show you the agenda. So there will be a few sessions, the overview, participants one day. This is a session by a tutor, and we'll look at the process of this learning journey and teachers' experience. So teachers who have already received their certificates will share their personal experience. So welcome everybody, and I have a few tips for you. So we do recommend to use Google Chrome. If you cannot hear the presenter, see the slides or video, please refresh the webinar page or reconnect to your internet connection. Please be an active participant, provide feedback, and ask questions. Just a reminder, please be sure to type your questions in the question box. The recording of the event and your certificate of attendance will be emailed to you within a week of the webinar. Just a reminder, we only issue certificates to those who have attended one of our live webinars. The recording of this webinar will be added to our YouTube channel, Cambridge Assessment English Russia, and the link is now in the chat. Please follow us there, and the recordings of all our webinars are added to this YouTube channel. So thank you very much for joining us today, and it's 4 p.m. in Moscow, and I think that it's time to get started. So I'm happy to welcome the first presenter, Paul Wade, Senior Assessment Manager, Cambridge Assessment English. Paul, welcome to this conference.
Thank you very much, Julia, and hello everybody. I hope everyone is well, and it's a real pleasure to be here today to talk to you all about CELT-P and CELT-S. So, as I said, my name is Paul Wade, and I'm the Senior Assessment Manager based in Cambridge, though like many people in the UK, we're now working from home. So I look after CELT-P and CELT-S, and I believe my colleague will be talking to you about CELTA and Delta in the coming days. So what I'd like to do is just tell you a little bit about CELT-P and CELT-S. So probably some of you know a little bit about CELT-P and CELT-S. Some of you may know a lot, others of you may not know nothing at all. So first of all, what is CELT-P and CELT-S? So It stands for Certificate in English Language Teaching, and there are two types of qualification for primary and secondary teachers. So what I'd like to do today is, first of all, give you a short little introduction to what CELT-P and CELT-S is, then tell you a little bit more about the aims of CELT-P and CELT-S, and then I thought it would be interesting for those of you who are interested in doing this particular course and getting this qualification, just to have a quick look at some of the material that will be available for you if you decide to take this course. I'll also explain a little bit about the requirements that you need to meet before you can be a participant on the course. And then also I'll talk a little bit about becoming a CELT-P and CELT-S course trainer, because I imagine some of you are already experienced teacher trainers, and perhaps you might be interested in being a CELT-P, CELT-S course trainer for your particular school. So again, I can give you some information about that. Hopefully we'll have time at the end where I should be able to, or will try and answer all your questions. And at the very end, I will leave you an email address that you can contact should you have any further questions. So with that as an overview, maybe we'll make a start and go through. So CELT-P and CELT-S, basically it's a complete package, and it's a package that focuses on teacher development, and it consists of essentially three key areas. So the first element is an online self-study course, and this is something that you do at your own pace, and it's all accessed online. I will go into a little bit more detail about this in a minute. Connected with this, there are also face-to-face training sessions as well. So this is additional training that is optional to the course, and this will be delivered by your course trainer. And again, I'll say a little bit more about this shortly. Then there are assessed tasks that you need to complete. So each module that you do will have a task attached to it. So you need to complete this task, and this will be assessed by your course trainer. There are teaching practice where you will be observed with your learners in your classroom. There are 3 teaching practices to the course, and again, more detail to follow. And then finally, you will take a TKT module as well. So these 3 elements all create a very comprehensive program. And it is, as I say, it's a development program. And if you meet all the necessary requirements from these 3 elements, you will then get a CELT-P or CELT-S qualification and a nice certificate to show your friends and colleagues. So let's have a look first of all then. So the aims of CELT-P and CELT-S are sort of, there are a number. So it focuses on you as practicing and experienced teachers. So it's most teachers who take CELT-P, CELT-S have either a very limited amount of experience, or they could be quite experienced teachers who have been teaching for a number of years, but want to develop their skills and their knowledge. CELT-P and CELT-S would also introduce you to strategies, methods, and materials that you can use within your classroom. And again, the emphasis is learning these new strategies, learning about material development, and then actually applying it to your classes. Also, one of the challenges that, that teachers have is managing and motivating large classes. So again, this course will give you some help and some tips and some guidance on how to manage large classes. And also it will show you some strategies that you can use to ensure that all your learners reach their full potential. So there will be a focus, for example, on differentiation within classrooms. I should stress that the purpose of this course is developmental. So it's not really a kind of an assessment as such. It's more about developing you as teachers. So from my experience, if you successfully complete the online modules, you do all the tasks, you are showing development over the course, you will pass this course and you will get a certificate. We have a very, very small number of people who do not pass CELT-P and CELT-S, but that's mainly because they kind of gave up at the beginning. But I'm sure most of you would persevere with this. So, first of all, a short little overview of what CELT-P and CELT-S. First of all, as teachers, you should be at a B1 level of English. So that's the kind of language that the course is written in. So you need to be at this minimum level. CELT-P is for those teachers who are teaching primary classes from around about 6 to 12 years of old, 6 or 12 years old, and CELT-S is for secondary learners between 11 and 18. So it's not for university students, and it's not really a course that's suitable for kindergarten teachers. So the focus is on primary and secondary. And to take part in the course, you must have access to primary or secondary learners. The course itself will require a significant time commitment from you. So overall, there's about between around 120 to 130 hours of study and work that you need to do the course. There are modules that you need to complete, and each module will take between 9 and 12 hours. There are portfolio tasks that you need to complete, and these would probably require about 2 hours of your time. So each module will have a portfolio task. Then there are 3 teaching practices, and the amount of work you would need to spend on preparing, delivering your lesson, having reflection, receiving feedback, etc., would be about 3 hours to 4 hours work per teaching practice. There is also an optional trainer-led session for each module, and we have provided materials for these trainer-led sessions, and there's about 3 hours of material for each module. So as you can see, the course is very comprehensive, does require a time commitment from you as teachers, and we find that people who don't complete the course, a very small number, usually have problems with meeting the time commitment. So please think very carefully about the amount of time that you would have. The course itself is flexible, so it will depend on your period of when you're teaching, your school year. Normally, most courses are around about 9 months in length, because they fit in with a school year. Some courses can be a little bit longer, up to 12 months. We have had some courses that have run within 6 months. So, but our recommendation is usually 9 to 12 months. Okay, so let's have a look at the online module to start off with. So the online module, so In CELT-P, there are 9 modules to complete, and in CELT-S, there are 8 modules. The only difference being that with CELT-P, the listening, reading, writing and speaking is divided into 1 module for writing and speaking, and one module for listening and speaking, and 1 module for writing and reading. So the modules themselves will look at developing reading, writing skills, managing a primary classroom, planning language learning, assessing language in a primary context. So quite a range of different modules. And as I said, each module will take you between 9 and 12 hours in total. Ooh, sorry, went the wrong way there. So here's an example of a CELT-S module 1, which is looking at managing the secondary classroom. As you can see, I won't obviously read everything to you, but as you can see, module 1 is divided into 3 units. So we're looking at creating and maintaining a constructive learning environment. Then we look at managing classrooms, and then managing differences. And then within each unit, there are 3 separate lessons which go into more detail about each of these particular units. So I'll show you some screenshots from module 1, so you just get an idea of what's involved. So at the beginning, you will have your introductory screen, and this will explain the areas that you will be covering within that particular lesson. So this is an example of lesson 2. After that, you will then click onto the next slide, and this will then take you to what we call our lead-in activities. So there are a number of slides which will introduce you to the topic. And the purpose of these is to sort of introduce you to the topic area, for you to think about your own teaching, and also kind of reflect on what you're doing now. So it's a kind of an opportunity for you to think about your current practices. After that, we then move into the lead-in to the input activities. So as you can see, here is an example where we're looking at teacher roles, and this is a kind of, you have a listen, there's usually listening, videos and text as input material. So here you would click on the play button, and you would hear a teacher trainer describing the different roles of teachers. You listen, and then you match the role with the activity. So for example, the first one, the teacher collects information about learners and tasks to use in feedback. So that would be, for an example, an enabler or a facilitator. Or it could be well, in this case, this one will be monitor and assessor for this one. So you click on monitor and assessor, and then you move it to the box. So there's lots of different activity types. There's matching activities, true, false, multiple choice, clicking on a box for the correct answer, etc. So we tried to make it as interesting in an interactional way as possible. As you work through the activities, because this is developmental, you may make mistakes, but that's okay. That's not a problem. That doesn't go against your mark. It's not recorded in any way. And if you do get an answer wrong, you're given a prompt that will help you think again. So you have 2 goes at each question as you work through. I should stress that your answers are not recorded, so you don't have to worry if you get something wrong, because that's the whole point of the course. It's developmental, it's not a test. So there's support as you work through the input materials. Then at the end, once you've finished with the input materials, you then get your score. So as you can see, in this particular case, the score was 25%. So not a particularly high score, but it doesn't matter. It's just for your own personal information. And then what you can do, you click on the box which has review activity, and then you can have a look at what you've put. So here we have examples that I have put, for example, resource and manager and organizer, but the correct answer in fact should be involver and manager and organizer. So it gives me the corrections when I have got an answer wrong. After that, we then have what we call our theory to practice section. So this takes what you've learnt from the unit, and then it gives you an opportunity to actually apply your knowledge, the strategies, the information that you've acquired to your classroom. So it gives you some ideas of what you can do in a practical sense within your classroom. So here you are being asked to think about maybe a new way of getting your learners working together. So it may be how you organize your groups, could be how you organize the layout of your classroom. It's all these different things, and you can apply this to your classroom. And again, this is just for your own development. Nobody is going to mark this, nobody observes this, it's just for what we call kind of self-development. After you've done that, there's a short little couple of slides that will review all the material that you've covered within that unit. So it's a kind of summary to that particular lesson. And then at the end, there's a little test that you can take. And again, the purpose of the test is just for your own personal knowledge and your own personal development. The score you get in the test is not recorded in any way, and it doesn't go towards your final mark. It's just an opportunity for you to check what you've understood, and maybe if you still need to go back and look again at certain areas. And then finally, there is a further reading section. So for those of you who are interested in learning more about a particular area, you can then have a look at some books and articles. So that's the online module. And basically, when you complete each step of the course, this is recorded in a grade book that we have, which sits on the platform. And to pass the online element of this course, you need to complete 95% of the tasks. So it's not that you have to get 95% correct, you just need to complete 95% of the activities. So that's the online element. And as I say, 9 modules for CELT-P, and there are 8 modules for CELT-S. Each module will have what we call a portfolio task, and this will require about 2 hours of your time. So again, we'll have a quick look at what the portfolio tasks are. So these you complete after you've completed your module. and it will give you an opportunity to apply your newfound knowledge and methods and strategies to your classes. So here there's an example of a portfolio task for module 1. So here it's going to be looking at classroom management, and you're going to set up a activity involving classroom management. So there's a template that you will need to complete, and you will be given guidance on what you need to do. So essentially you would select a particular activity, a role play activity, for example. You will then plan how you will incorporate this within your classroom, and then you will deliver it, and then you will reflect on how that particular lesson went. So as I say, we provide the template. So this is something you will fill in for yourself. You'll put in details of your class. You will give a description of the activity. You will talk a little bit about the procedures and the instructions, how you will set the activity up. Talk about the activity itself, how you're going to give feedback to your classes. You will look at your interaction patterns that you're going to be using during the activity. And then at the end, you have a section for self-reflection. And this is a very important element of the course, because it is trying new things, experimenting, and then reflecting on how well it went. So from my own personal experience when I was teaching, I always found this very useful indeed, because sometimes things don't work out as well as you planned, but it's always good to try new things and then learn from this. And this is very much a focus of what CELT-P and CELT-S is about. As I said, each module will have a portfolio task. Once you've completed the portfolio task template, you upload this onto the course platform, and then your course trainer will have access to your portfolio tasks, and the course trainer will go in and give you feedback on your portfolio task. So the course trainer will not go in and watch your lesson, that's something else, but we'll look at what you've written on your template, and we'll give you further guidance and suggestions as well. So the course trainer is a very, very important part of the course. The course trainer will then mark your portfolio task as complete. So it's fully detailed, it's structured correctly, there's enough information for the course trainer to understand what the task was. If the course trainer feels that something is missing, then the course trainer may ask you to resubmit the portfolio task, and then they would make recommendations on how you can improve it. So again, and all you do, you go away, have a look at your trainer feedback and rewrite the sections that have been suggested by your course trainer, and then you resubmit it again. And usually the trainer will then mark your portfolio task as complete. If, for example, after your second submission, it still isn't up to standard, it will then be marked as incomplete. Now, to pass CELT-P and CELT-S, you are allowed to have 2 incomplete tasks. So, but normally we encourage most people to try and get all their portfolio tasks marked as complete. So that's the portfolio tasks. So we have 8 or 9 modules. Each module has a portfolio task. There is also teaching practices that you have to do as well. So in total, you'll be required to complete 3 observed teaching practices. So this is when your course trainer will come in and watch your lesson. So there are, as I say, 3 teaching practices. Teaching practice 1 will look at setting up and managing a speaking activity. And teaching practice 2 will look at a differentiation activity. Each of these would have to be around about 20 minutes long, and they would have to fit in within a lesson of a minimum of about 30 minutes. Now, teaching practice 1 and teaching practice 2 are optional. So you don't have to do these if you don't want to. However, we strongly encourage teachers to actually do TP1 and TP2 because it's an opportunity for them to have their course trainer come to the classroom, watch them teach, and for the course trainer to give the teacher feedback on how the lesson went, on the use of the materials, classroom management, how the differentiation strategies worked, areas that could be developed further. So the focus of teaching practice 1 and teaching practice 2 is kind of formative assessment, but it is an opportunity for you to develop further as teachers. Teaching practice 3, which happens at the end of the course, this is compulsory, and this is our summative assessment. And here you will teach a lesson of a minimum of 30 minutes. You will be observed by your course trainer. You will follow a set procedure. You will need to put together a lesson plan, show materials that you're going to be using. Your course tutor will come in, observe the lesson, will give you feedback, and also you'll be given a grade. So the usual marks for a TP3 are pass and a merit. And we normally find that teachers who get the merit grade are usually those that have already done TP1 and TP2, because it's very good preparation for TP3. Very occasionally, very, very occasionally, I would say 1% of the time, we do get teachers who fail TP3, but you are given another opportunity to take your TP3 again. So you would probably have to put together a different lesson, and obviously your trainer will give you support in putting together your new TP3 lesson. So as you can see, the course is structured so we encourage people to pass. You know, we want people to finish the course with their certificate. So that's with TP3. After that, you will then be required to take your TKT exam. So if you're taking CELT-P, you will take the TKT-YL exam. And if you're doing CELT-S, you will take Module 1. Again, most teachers will take their TKT exam towards the end of the course, because a lot of what you're learning as part of your going through the modules, doing the portfolio tasks, doing teaching practice 1 and 2 will really feed in and help you with the TKT exam. Also on the platform we have some TKT preparation materials. So these you can access on your own to do self-study, or can be delivered by your course trainer as a kind of preparation course for TKT. So that's the final element to the CELT-P and CELT-S course. Now, with the certificate, you can get there are two grades. You can either have a pass grade or a merit grade. So to get a pass, you have to attempt all the portfolio tasks, though, as I mentioned earlier, you can have 2 that are marked as incomplete. However, you must attempt all of the tasks. If you don't attempt all of them, unfortunately, you won't meet the requirement. You'll need to get a pass in your TP3, and for TKT, you'll need to get a minimum of a band 2. So that's for a pass. For a merit, you need to, again, attempt all the tasks, but all your portfolio tasks must be marked as complete. You need to get a merit in your teaching practice 3, and you need to get band 3 or above in your TKT. So again, in our experience, a large number of teachers are very keen to get the merit qualification or the merit on their certificate. So as you can see, it's quite achievable. It really is to get a merit mark. It really is putting in the time and doing the work. Once you've completed all 3 parts of the course, the details are sent to us here in Cambridge, and then we then produce a certificate for you, and this gets sent to your course administrator, and they will then pass your certificate on to you. So that's a little bit about the requirements for CELT-P and CELT-S. So, as I said, you need to be at B1 level of English. You need to have access to primary or secondary learners. Unfortunately, you can't take CELT-P and CELT-S as an individual. So you will need to do this through your school, and your school will need to apply to be a CELT-P, CELT-S approved centre. So it must be through your particular school or your institution. As an approved centre, your school will then need to recruit a CELT-P, CELT-S course trainer, and that course trainer will need to undertake some training. And there's what we call a train the trainer course, which I will say a little bit more about in a moment. Your school will also need to appoint a course administrator who will run the course, and you must have, for your school, there must be a minimum number of course participants. So we normally have a minimum of 10 teachers must be able to do the course in your school. So, but for your very first course, we do allow a minimum of 5 teachers, but any course after that must meet the minimum of 10. So, as I say, there is a course trainer who will be supporting you throughout the course. The course trainer gives you support as you work through the modules. They will provide feedback and grade your portfolio tasks, and they can deliver the face-to-face training materials, which we also provide. So as a course trainer, if you're interested in becoming a course trainer, you would need to spend approximately about 12 hours per course participant. So as you can see, the course trainer is a very important part of the structure of CELT-P and CELT-S. For those of you who are very experienced teachers and are interested in moving into becoming a trainer, or you are already a trainer for your particular school and you think you would like to be a CELT trainer and for your school to offer CELT, this is a possibility. So to be a CELT trainer, you must be have a minimum level of English at B2 level, and we would normally ask you to give evidence of that, and that would normally be through a teaching through a language qualification. So, for example, if you've done CAE or an IELTS exam or something like that, so we would need to have some kind of evidence that you are at B2 level. You must have a minimum of 3 years teaching experience at the relevant age group. So if your school wants to run a CELT-P, you must have at least 3 years primary teaching experience. And then also you complete a nomination form, and in the nomination form there's what we call a approach section where you sort of write about your own teaching. So for example, how you use resourcing, how you assess your learners, what types of differentiation strategies you use. And that way it helps us judge as to how we think you would be as a trainer. Once you've completed your trainer nomination form, your school will then send this to our help desk team, and then your nomination form is sent to me, and then I look through it, and I hope at the end of reading through it, I will then approve you as a CELT-P, CELT-S trainer. Once you've done that, you will then complete a train the trainer course, and we have an online train the trainer course and a face-to-face trainer course. Nowadays, a lot of people are now doing the online train the trainer course. Once you've successfully completed that, you will get a certificate to say that you are you've completed the train the trainer course. You will then do a short induction activity for CELT-P, CELT-S. Then there's a standardization activity where you will observe a class that's being taught, and you will give feedback, and you will grade that particular class. After that, you can then be the CELT trainer for your particular school or institution. The Train the Trainer course itself is around about 30 hours in length, and this can last, the online version can last from, you can do it in an 8-week period, a 4-week period, or 2-week period. And basically you will have a lead trainer who will oversee the course, and you will do various teacher training activities. So I've listed some of the examples there. You'll be looking at differences between teaching learners and teaching teachers, which is very different. How you design sessions, inputs, types of input, etc. How you plan and deliver your training sessions, giving feedback to teachers and how you can best observe teachers. And then also looking at course planning and future development, professional development as a trainer. So this is a very popular course, and it's now not only taken by teachers who want to be CELT-P, CELT-S trainers, but it can be taken by those teachers who just want to get a teacher trainer qualification. So you don't have to be a CELT-P, CELT-S trainer to do this. You can do it just for purely professional development purposes. Okay, I hope that's given you a very brief overview of what CELT-P and CELT-S is. If you want further information, for example, if your school is interested in offering CELT-P and CELT-S, then please send your questions and requests for further information to the attached to that email address here. Okay, thank you very much. I think we're almost at the end, but are there any questions? Julia, I don't know if you've had a chance to monitor any of the questions, so I'll have a look through some of these.
Thank you, Paul.
So if you don't belong to a school or an institution, then unfortunately you won't be able to take CELT-P and CELT-S. You do need to do it through your school or institution, I'm afraid. It's not something that we can offer to teachers individually. Yes, so thank you, Irina. We are looking into offering this for private teachers, but at the moment we're still in the investigative module stage for that. Any other further questions? I'll give you a moment to type anything if you have any further questions.
Oh, Paul, there is a question from Elena. If I already
While I'm waiting for the questions, I should say I've been looking after CELT-P and CELT-S now for about 2 or even 3 years. Time flies by, and it's a course it's a qualification and a course that's really taking off. It's becoming increasingly popular, particularly in Russia. We've noticed there's a lot of interest in Russia with CELT-P and CELT-S, and it's offered all over the world, in China, Brazil, all around South America. So there's lots. It really is growing. So Elena, if I belong to a private language school, can I get CELT-P, CELT-S? Yes, you can. So you can certainly get your head of your school to contact us, and then we'll take you through the stages in becoming a centre for CELT-P and CELT-S. I'm not sure if it's offered in Canada at the moment. I'm not sure if there are any centres in Canada. So I can't really confirm that one. Do we need FCE or CAE to approve the? Yes, it can be FCE or CAE, but doesn't only have to be those. We accept other teaching qualifications, so it can be an IELTS qualification, and it can be a qualification from another examining board. So, for example, if you've taken a language exam with Trinity or another examining board, we will accept that as evidence of your language level. But obviously, we would like you to take one of our examinations. Okay, doesn't look like there's any further questions coming through. So I think price. Yes, so if you contact our colleagues in Russia, they will be able to give you the pricing for this particular, for a CELT-P and CELT-S course. Okay, and then Elena, sorry, I didn't see your question. So unfortunately, I can't scroll up.
Paul, can you hear me?
So if you want to type it out very quickly, sorry for that.
Paul, can you hear me?
For Elena. Ah, okay. Thank you, Elena. If I already have TKTYL, do I have to do it? Nope, you don't have to take it again. So that's, as long as you have this, still have the certificate, that's fine. So you've already completed part of the course already. So congratulations. Okay, well, thank you. Thank you very much. It's been, I hope you found it useful. I've certainly enjoyed presenting it to you. And as I say, you have the email address there if you have any other questions. So, and I hope many of you will go away, talk to the heads of your school and think about becoming a CELT-P, CELT-S institution. So thank you very much, and wish you good luck for the future.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Paul, for this presentation. Thank you very much for answering all the questions, and thank you for joining us today. Can you hear me? It seems that there are some issues with Okay, dear friends, dear colleagues, can you hear me? Please put a plus in the chat box. Seems that we had some problems with the internet connection and Paul couldn't hear me. Okay, wonderful. I see so many pluses. Thank you very much. And it's a great honor for us to see all of you here today. Thank you. So this was a very detailed overview of CELT courses, CELT-P and CELT-S, and Train the Trainer. So now I would like to invite our colleague, tutor, Milena Khabarova. Milena, please join me here. So before Paul gave a very detailed overview of the course, and now I think that it's time to discuss this learning journey, the process. Milena, welcome to our conference. Thank you very much for joining us today. I'm uploading your presentation. Just a second.
Good. Okay, I'm here. Hello, everybody. I don't know whether you want my picture or my words or my presentation, but my picture, oh, it disappeared. Okay, I'm giving you my picture and my words. You can either choose both or either, or whatever you want. If you indicate somehow that you don't hear me, I would know this. If everything is okay, I can start. Okay, hello everybody. I would like to, yes.
Milena, I'm terribly sorry. Yeah. I see that there are some issues with your presentation. I'm going to share my my screen. And
no worries. I can go without. Absolutely fine.
I can share my screen, and just let me know when you would like me to change the slides. I will help you. So
okay, if I know, I will let you know. No problems.
Yes, I'm here. Okay. I'm here to help you, to support you. Just a second.
Okay. I'm going to start by saying big thank you for this opportunity. Thank you to Cambridge Assessment English for this opportunity to be here. Yes, I can see exactly the same picture. And it's also an honor to join the community of Cambridge speakers and presenters. So again, thank you very much for this. A little bit about me. You can see my picture and me on the picture. And it says that I work for the Institute Higher School of Linguistics. We are based in Moscow. My name is Milena. I am a CELT-P, CELT-S trainer. I also run some bits and pieces of our school. That's how I call it. And I would like to give you a kind of some insight into what it takes to be a tutor, especially on these CELT-P and CELT-S courses. And one of my biggest memories came in 2002 when I took my own CELT in Brighton, UK. And 20 years later, I may confess that my choice was absolutely right. Cambridge has never disappointed me in anything. And I don't need my presentation for now. If you're with me, I will probably ask you to give it there. Okay, that's better. So this is me talking to you, and I don't want it to be a monologue. I want it to be a dialogue. So if you have your questions, don't hesitate. I will try to answer them. So my history with Cambridge, coming back, started in 2002 when I did my CELT-T. And thinking back, reflecting on what I knew about CELT-T, I was thinking that I wish I'd known better or more about the course, but technologies that time were not as good as today. So today we have this opportunity to ask questions. We have this opportunity to talk to the tutors who actually run the courses and to ask them questions and to get this inside information about what the course takes, what guts you need to have to be able to complete the course. When I did my course, I didn't have this opportunity. So I'm trying to put myself in my own shoes and trying to help you to answer the questions I would ask myself if I had to take the CELT-P or CELT course. And mentally, I have already said that I'm a kind of in love with Cambridge because they've never disappointed me in terms of what they produce, and I love all their products. I'm going to have some sip of tea or coffee. I always do, so don't be afraid if I stop for a second and have my tea or coffee. So mentally, if I had to take a course, what I do, I have or visualize some boxes in my mind. Boxes I need to tick before I decide whether this course for me or not. And these boxes are there. It's like when you go shopping, you have this shopping list, and the shopping list like kind of boxes. You need to tick what you need, what you have bought, or what you don't need. So I'm going to devote my presentation to ticking the boxes. It may sound strange, but you see what I mean at the end. Boxes will be about CELT-P and CELT-S. And, you know, before any presentation or any webinar I'm going to run, I have this habit, if you like. In the morning with my tea or coffee, I watch some speakers, famous speakers, and they inspire me. They kind of show me what to do, how to start, how to finish, how to kind of use my humor if I have one. And today I was watching my favorite, absolutely favorite, KG Rowling, and she said, talking to Howard audience, and she said that this kind of thinking of making this speech had made me lost weight and wrecked my mind and heart for what I want to say to you. So I did exactly the same, and I planned my presentation, I prepared it, but Paul did all my job now. He did all the highlights, and hopefully what I'm going to say will add to what he said and will help you kind of mold this course for you and decide whether this is what you want or this is something you absolutely need desperately. So remember questions, I will answer them, I will stop and answer. I will allow 5 minutes at the end for the questions, but anyway, don't be shy to ask questions. We have this kind of chat box and questions there. So let's go back to the boxes. I would like to start by mentioning two boxes, Cambridge and online. The first box is Cambridge. Yes, CELT-P or CELT-S is a Cambridge course. And because I'm passionately in love with the courses, I can say that the quality is there. It's the certificate you will get at the end. It's not only a CELT certificate, it's a TKT certificate as well. And it's online. It's purely online today, so you don't need to, like CELT-T, I will go through CELT in comparison with CELT-P or S at the end, but it's an online, so this is your box to tick, and this is Cambridge, and this is a big tick. If you live, let's say, somewhere in a remote place, you can't come, you've got a family, you've got your work, this is something you could start thinking of taking. Because this is Cambridge, they provide the objective quality of the inputs. Everything is on the platform and the inputs are there for you. And we don't interfere as tutors, we don't interfere with what is there on the platform. You do individually your tasks, you do the tests. As the course tutor, or me or somebody else, will check and grade your results. And on top of this, we are, as tutors, being moderated by Cambridge. So a moderator comes forward and may say to me, oh, there's something you don't do here. Or, oh, great job, but. Or, this is very good, but think how you could do better, giving feedback to this person. So it's not only you who are under supervision, it's us as well. And that gives you the quality of everything, especially of the course. So big ticks for being a Cambridge course and being an online course. The second big tick for me is you know who's your main course tutor is. Today, where technologies rule, you can go online, internet, Instagram, and I don't know, Facebook, so we have, and you can check our personal accounts. You can see how many courses we have done before you come to us. You can see what school we work for or have worked for years. And on top of this, you can see our graduates' feedback, and it's there. And today, there is one thing we cannot change. This is feedback we have from our trainees. And today, we can put everything on our profiles, and you can see how we run the course. For me, this is a unique opportunity to give you insight. Let's say 1 day of my tutoring the course. As I said, I have worked for the high, I don't know whether I have or whether I haven't, but I work for the High School of Linguistics, Moscow-based, and as Cambridge accredited school, you can come to us as a person. You can get registered to one of these courses, CELT-P or CELT-S. We accept you if you meet all the requirements, and Paul talked about this. You meet the requirements, you do some testing, we accept you on the course, and you become our trainee. And then you become our trainee, we start the course, and I will talk about the procedure, how we run the course, or me personally. But at the moment, for your big tick, I would like to mention how I check your task. Let's say you are on the course and we are doing together CELT-S or CELT-P, because it doesn't actually matter because they're quite similar in that respect. I get up in the morning, I have my shower, I get my coffee, and I open my computer. The first thing I do in the morning when it is my CELT or CELT-S or P day, I go straight to the platform, and I see nobody loves me because no work for me today, no tasks uploaded for me to grade. So I go to do different things. But another day, I get to the platform and wow, everybody loves me. I've got something to do. So I see that there are some portfolio tasks uploaded and completed for me to check. What I do, I download it into my computer and start checking the way you write there. And this is actually very private information I'm going to share with you. I'm going to tell you the way I look at your portfolio tasks. And this is probably a kind of unique experience for me and for you because we're friends. So a portfolio task has two columns, if you like. The left column is given to you, and it gives you what you need, information you need to write on the right column. Let's say the aim for the lesson, the stages, the procedure, lesson type, questions you ask, your learners, the group profile, and etc. etc. So to be able to complete this portfolio, you do a lot of work, and Paul has talked about this. To be able to complete one portfolio task, you need to go through one module, and then you watch other people teach, you watch other people do exactly the same tasks, then there are inputs and then some tests. So you've done all this. And then to produce a good portfolio task, we advise you to go and practice on your learners. If you have a group of young learners or any learners which are there for you to help. So you practice, and then you reflect on what you have done. Then you can do it again, you can plan your activity, you can deliver again your activity, you can practice, and then you do these portfolio tasks. So what I see there is the result of a lot of work you have done before. But I don't know how much you've done. I don't know how much you've done before these portfolio tasks. I can only judge and assess what I see. And sometimes what I see may be different from what you thought you had put there. Let's say it says your lesson aim, and you put your lesson aim there, or procedure, or stages. And or I'll give you an example. I came across this example recently, and I was kind of fascinated by the idea how clearly unclear you could be. It says description of the activity, and you say this is a matching activity. It doesn't say anything to me, because as a matching activity, it could be anything, or aim for the lesson or aim for the activity, and somebody puts to learn English. Again, I love this idea that we are here to learn and to teach English, but when I see on your portfolio task that the reason for doing this vocabulary activity is to learn English, I can't assess it, because it's very general. It's good, but it's very general. So my advice to those who are going to come to my courses is to be absolutely clear and precise in what you mean. And I advise you to read, to complete the task, then put it aside, and next day read it again and before you submit it. Because coming back to my day, I open this portfolio task and I see the reason is there, the stages are there, but the warmer is not given. Maybe you think the warmer shouldn't be before this activity, but you need to justify your choice. You need to provide rationale why it's not there. Or, for example, you're doing a listening or reading lesson and you don't provide a gist task. And I do believe that before you give them a detailed task, you need to give them a gist task. So, coming back to my assessing, I have to read your portfolio task like a novel. I don't need to go back to your attachment with every letter or word saying, okay, what do you mean here? Or it says, okay, see in the attachment, so I need to go there. Or the reason is not given, but the reason is given in somewhere else. Or when you say, okay, self-reflection or self-evaluation, I don't know what to, you say to me, I don't know what to say. How can I assess your kind of work if I haven't taught you how to assess yourself? Okay, what I'm saying really here is big tick for me and for you is to produce a quality writing portfolio task that you understand, I understand, and I don't need to go to your attachments, but which you have to submit to kind of complete and pass your task. And I'm talking a lot about portfolio tasks because they are an essential part of this course. For me, feedback, and for everybody, feedback is very, very important. That's why Cambridge courses are different. So another big tick is getting feedback on what you do. And as Paul mentioned, there will be 9 or 8 portfolio tasks. What it means that you will be going through 9 or 8 lessons, modules. You will do a lot of work individually. And again, individually is good because you can commit to this course, even having little time every day or having little time at the weekends. So if you know how to organize yourself, if you know how to make sure that you're meeting deadlines and you're meeting requirements, this course is for you. And you will be doing these you will be doing these modules individually, of course without supervision, but individually. And 9 modules, 9 portfolio tasks. And the best bit of this, that you get my feedback. And if it says incomplete, there's your chance. That's where your learning starts. Because feedback has to be taken without kind of, or has to be accepted. It's very difficult to accept feedback. We find it difficult because it's unnatural for us. When somebody criticizes us, we think, oh, no, my work is fine. But feedback is not about criticism. Feedback is about developing, as it says, a developmental course. So we are here to help you develop. So my job is to see what is not there and guide you what can be done better. Your job is to accept this feedback without being hurt, and then give it some time, go back to this feedback, redo some work and send it again to me. So my morning will start exactly with the same, somebody loves me, so I've got a new task. This is a fundamental difference between CELT-P and CELT-S and other courses, because feedback is individual here. I give it to every person. Every single person on the course will get my individual feedback. Let alone feedback on teaching practice, and I will talk about teaching practice a little bit later. So, big tick for portfolio tasks and feedback. The next big tick is for school support and organization. As we all have already mentioned, a school has to be accredited by Cambridge to run these courses. It means that we as a school are accredited. We have qualified tutors to run these courses, but the best thing our school has is our CELT coordinator. And after me, there will be people talking about taking courses with us, and they will probably mention some names. So, you know, our CELT coordinator is also accredited by Cambridge, and her name is Anna. She's responsible for a lot of things, and she will support you through the whole course. And this is crucial because if you have any questions, you know someone, and this someone is with a name. You don't know how to upload your video. You don't know what to do with your students if you have only 3. You don't know how to run your TP practice if it's kind of not on the platform as complete. What you do? You write to our coordinator, and she will advise you how to use either our timetable, which we provide, or how to do your individual timetable. School support will probably include support chats, face-to-face sessions, and she appoints them and we run them together. Everything is there. So as a school, we give a lot of support to our trainees. Next big tick for you is a platform. This is a kind of very, very user-friendly platform, and I think it is called Moodle, and it's a professional platform. It's one of the best ever I worked on. It has all the inputs there. You just click, and it comes up there, so you don't need to do anything extra. It provides you with everything, some books, tasks. You complete the task, you get the answers. The program is there, the instructions are there. So it's easy to use, and it has our support, IT support, and Cambridge IT support. So this is big. What you need to have before you think whether you're ready, you need to make sure that your own equipment is ready to meet this platform. You need to have a computer, internet access. You can be anywhere in the world. We will take you because it's an online course. And next big tick, I would say, it's a kind of, I talked about portfolio task and getting feedback, but TP, Paul mentioned that TP3 is only obligatory. I would advise you to go and do not neglect TP1 and TP2, because in our school, we will run TP1, we don't run, we advise our trainees to do TP1, teaching practice 1 and teaching practice 2. They plan a lesson, they submit all the planning papers. That's how they learn, because you are learning not for the result, you are learning for the process, and the process will help you to learn. So teaching practice 1 will give you some insight into the teaching. You submit, as I already said, the planning papers and self-evaluation. And your video recorded TP, I don't need to come to your class. This is the best bit. What you do, you get someone to record your lesson. You have to have a minimum of 4 learners in your class. You can work in a school, or you can work individually with a class, or you can work for a language school. It doesn't matter, as long as you have a minimum of 4 learners in your class and you provide a minimum of 40 minutes lesson. You get somebody to record this and you send it to me. I'll start my morning with looking at your recording. I will analyze every step, every stage, every instruction you've given, and then I write back my recommendations and my assessments. Sometimes they may hurt, but as we agreed between you and me, that they shouldn't. I'm not doing these to hurt you, I'm doing these to help you. I know it's easy to say, it's more difficult to accept. That's how we all learn. So TP, big tick. And I was asked earlier to compare, let me kind of very quickly go back. I was asked to compare CELT-P and CELT-S because there have been many questions about this. I would say the CELT, if you teach people over 18, CELT is probably for you. If your target age 6 to 11, this is CELT-P. If your target group is 12 to 18, this is CELT-S. CELT is very intensive, and it doesn't matter whether you take it today on Zoom or face-to-face. It's up to intensive course, 4 to 5 weeks, and it's every day. And within these 4 weeks course, you have to submit 4 portfolio tasks or 4 assignments, where CELT-P or CELT-S are kind of scattered around your year. You've got 9 months, 9 modules. It means that 1 module per month. And module is as intensive as a kind of CELT module, but you commit yourself to these the way you want to, because it's individually performed and kind of individually supervised. In CELTA, as I said, 4 portfolio tasks, CELT-P, 9 portfolio tasks, CELT-S, 8 tasks. On each CELTA, you get 4 kind of feedback on each task. CELT-P, 9 with resubmissions. If you resubmit, if you're good enough, you can think, okay, I need to resubmit because I need more feedback. So we're talking about 18 altogether. CELT-S, the same. So feedback, CELT is immediate. You get your feedback after you teach. CELT-P, CELT-S, feedback is not immediate. You teach a lesson, you submit it up on the platform, planning and self-evaluation. You get your feedback within 2 weeks. So you are not hot enough not to accept it. You are cold enough to see the point of the feedback. So from my point of view, when the feedback is cold and not immediate, it is taken on board more a kind of responsibly, if you like. 8 lessons on CELTA you have to complete, and you have to pass at least 7. No, I wouldn't say how many you have to pass. We can go. Tomorrow people will be talking about CELTA thoroughly enough to give you more details. But CELT-P, CELT-S, you have to complete 3 lessons, TP1, TP2, and TP3. TP3 is obligatory, and CELT-S is the same. With these courses, compared to CELTA, time helps you to take things on board, to develop, to learn, and to reflect. This is fundamentally how different they are, but all 3 are Cambridge courses. Our institute runs all of them, so you're very welcome to join any of our courses. A little bit of advertisement, I guess I deserve here. So once you've decided CELT-P or CELT-S, you need to tick the last boxes, and the last boxes would be whether you are open up enough to what is coming. You need to open up to what is coming. You need to trust the course and the tutor. You need to accept feedback, but at the same time, do not be afraid of asking questions, because questions here, everything. You need to enjoy the process rather than the result. The result should be as a kind of reward, should be something you expect to have, but you're not disappointed when it's kind of the result you planned from the very beginning, because maybe you plan to pass and you get a merit, so disappointment. And use feedback as your starting point to develop further. So this is fundamentally all I wanted to say. And as one of my favorite speaker and Pakistan actress and painter once said, that problems are not too big. We are too small to handle them. So be grateful and use your ability and potential to become a better you. I think I've got 5 minutes to answer your questions, and if you have any. If you don't have any, you may think of kind of putting, oh, we've got one, wait a second, questions. Is there any difference between no, it's been answered? Okay. Oh, no questions for me. Now I'm disappointed. Okay. But anyway, oh, somebody is saying something nice to me. Thank you very much. You're very welcome. We're running courses in our institute, and we've got our contact. Now this is my chance to kind of present to you with a kind of some this is again me. Let's get okay. So this is our phone number. You have a minute to put it in your Moleskine notebook. This is our email. And then something I'm sharing with you. This is my personal Instagram. Only if you have questions about teaching, because this is a professional Instagram, you can ask me personally, write to me to direct. And then this is our school Instagram. That's how you can get registered. This is our website. There are actually two websites. The second one, IHSL, this is kind of more professional for teachers. The first one is for kind of if you learn English. Welcome, thank you. And hopefully I will see you at one of our courses. The last thing I would like to say is that you're very, very welcome. We're trying to make sure that all our Cambridge courses, not only in our school, but we've got our partners everywhere, and we don't compete. We work together in line with Cambridge standards and requirements. So every school will be very happy to have you. If you choose us, you're very welcome. We start our CELT-S and CELT-P courses on 10th of May. This is very good because you will have some time before you decide and submit. We have some courses available on CELT-P and more on CELT-S. Thank you for being with me. Thank you. The timetable of what? They're saying that I've got 5 minutes. I can go back because I haven't mentioned one thing to you, one big tip. Now I lost this. Now I think I will finish here, because I've done my presentation, and I will give you a couple of minutes to reflect on what I've said and get ready to listen to our graduates. There will be one CELT-P and one CELT-S graduate, and they will be talking about having experience courses with us. Thank you very much for being with me.
Thank you very much, Milena. It's a great honor for us that you joined our event. Milena is a very, very talented tutor, and dear friends, you can see contact details in case you are interested in getting teaching qualification. You can contact Higher School of Linguistics. Please save the contacts. And I would like to share in the chat another link. This is the link to our cambridgeenglish.org website. Find a center, find a teaching center. In case you're in a different country, in case you want to see the list of all our authorized centers, please follow this link and find a center for you. So once again, Milena, thank you very much for joining us today, and thank you for this amazing presentation. And I'm sorry that we couldn't open your slides. Sometimes we have some technical issues. Sorry, and thank you very much. So now it's time to share some personal experience, and I would like to invite teachers who have already received international certificates, and the first is Ekaterina Cherkasova, CELT-P qualified teacher. Ekaterina is from Armavir, and we are very, very happy that Ekaterina accepted our invitation and joined us today. Ekaterina, welcome to our conference.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Yeah, my name is Ekaterina, and I'm a teacher at language school, private language school, and in Armavir. It's not far from Sochi. I'm pretty sure that you all know where Sochi is, and Armavir is not far from there. Hello, everybody, and let me share my experience, and I hope my experience will inspire you to take this course. So we will talk about CELT-P. I've been teaching for about 14 years now, and I took my TKT course in 2008 or 2009, 2 years after I had graduated from the university. And my next step was supposed to be CELT, but the time flew by. I got my degree in methodology. I changed the school I worked at, but I still was hesitating whether I do need CELT because I didn't work with adults, and I never planned to start working with adults. And one day I was advised to take CELT. I even applied to the course in Stavropol, but that course didn't start. I don't know why. And unfortunately, that was the last year before CELT was discontinued. And I felt that I urgently needed that refreshment in my teaching skills. I had taken some courses online on Cambridge online, on Cambridge site, but I did feel that I lacked that profound understanding of communicative approach. And at that particular time, I saw the information about the new courses, CELT-P and CELT-S, and as I was teaching both young learners and teenagers, I was faced a stark choice. Eventually, I chose CELT-P because teaching young learners was something very difficult and demanding for me and tricky. And despite lots of information available online on teaching young learners, I really didn't have that holistic view of it, emphasizing developing skills, assessment, planning. And I contacted Milena, and she consulted me on the peculiarities of this course. And voila, I was in. Yeah, in November 2019, I was a working mom of 6-month-old baby. I used to work during the day, and in the evening, I took my baby in my hands, rocking her to sleep and holding the phone in my hands, doing the test with the phone with the access to the Cambridge LMS. And I was doing tests, I was reading articles, I was watching videos. Then I just took screenshot and made some notes in the notebook late in the morning. And the first 2 months of my studies were rather relaxing. Not until that Milena started reminding us of completing the assignments for Portfolio Model 1, did I start doing these tasks, assignments. As far as I remember, the first model was devoted to, the first task was about to research and analyze a grammar structure. I chose there is, there are, and that was a disaster because I got resubmission and I thought it was a complete failure. But it wasn't. Everything worked out okay because I just found more books. I read them to make deeper research on this topic. And this is why I chose CELT-P. Yeah, that was the portfolio task module 1. You can see that I chose there is, there are, and there was submission on this particular task. Nevertheless, I just consulted some books and I improved my portfolio task and I got pass for this task. No sooner had I realized how important and rewarding and interesting those research on grammar structures is. And now I never start teaching new grammar without consulting a couple of grammar books. Thanks to Milena's feedback, I knew perfectly well how to improve my work, and I realized all my mistakes. The rest of portfolio tasks were completed on the first submission. Milena's comments on each step of the lessons were priceless. Not only did I get lots of useful information on LMS, Cambridge LMS, but I got tons of useful tips from Milena's feedback. And here it's important to mention how helpful and how respectful those comments were. And you know, it took Milena a couple of days to check our work, our tasks, and you can imagine my thrill that I experienced when, sorry. Sorry, can you hear me now? Yeah, so the, where did I stop? About the experience, about the thrill that I was experiencing when I was checking my email for new messages from Milena. And you may imagine seeing pass in your task, it's really priceless. And among the topics covered in the test are peculiarities of the learner, developing skills, planning and assessing the language learning. Everything is logically structured and completely applicable in a real classroom. The process of learning something new, it's exciting. But the process of applying the new knowledge in the real classroom is even more incredible. Everything worked fine in my classroom, and children with different background. I could work with children with different backgrounds, and my classroom management got much better. And eventually I could justify every other step, everything that I was doing in my class. And speaking about teaching practice, after a couple of reminders from Milena about the necessity to making videos of real lessons, I eventually wrote the lesson plan. I gathered my group of young ladies and recorded my teaching practice. And here I should say that I had been observed before. My lessons had been observed by tens of colleagues, but never had I planned my lesson plans so thoroughly and easily, because I was showing what I was doing. I was showing in every step of lesson plan. So if you considered the material of the course in detail, the final teaching practice won't be any problematic or difficult. All in all, it usually took me 1 hour for each lesson in a model, and 2 or 3 hours to write the portfolio task or to write the lesson plan for teaching practice. It could be a challenge for a working mom of a baby, but determined and strong-willed teachers will cope with all the tasks offered in CELT-P, I'm sure. This course is 100% rewarding and worth the effort that you make to complete it. I should say that when I was taking my TKT young learners, I was sure in every in each 80 questions in my papers. And I didn't need any additional preparation for taking this test. Right now, I'm focused on my language exams. And in 2 or 3 years, I'm planning continue my professional development. I'm looking at Delta maybe someday. I love this sense of achievement that I get after after completing course, and I can see all the changes that are in my work. So that's why I highly recommend this course to everybody. If there are any questions about my experience, you're very welcome. Hello? Is everything okay?
Yes, Ekaterina, thank you very much for this presentation and for sharing your experience with us. I see some comments from Milena. They are waiting for you to come
Yes,
to the
I
next
can.
course. Yes.
Yeah, and I will be happy to work with Milena as a tutor if it's possible, because your help during the course was priceless. Thank you very much. I really appreciate the efforts that you making me a better teacher. Thank you, Nina.
Yes, there are some comments from Nina, and well, that's really great to listen to your personal experience, why you chose this course and your plans for the future. Especially interesting to understand the process of learning, because this is a distance course, and sometimes we get lots of questions about the procedures, and this course is quite new for our country, and not many teachers are familiar with all these procedures. So thank you very much. There are some questions about, have you ever had any difficult questions from your students?
Difficult questions concerning with the language, or concerning with the sense of our existence, or something like that. Of course, every other day, a difficult question from my students, and I tend to speak frankly, to be frank with them, and honestly say if I don't know anything.
There is a question from Odile, how to prepare effectively for CELT-P if a teacher works full-time. So tomorrow we are going to talk about CELT-P, and at the moment there are some different options available for trainees. There is full-time CELT-P, part-time CELT-P, there is a blended course, there is online course. So Odile, we are waiting for you tomorrow, and we will be happy to talk about it in details. So, okay, I see very nice comments. Thank you very much, Ekaterina, and it's time to move to the next presentation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next presenter, the next speaker is Valeria. Valeria is a teacher from Moscow, and Valeria is a CELT-S qualified teacher. So here is the presentation. Valeria, thank you very much for joining us today. It's a great honor for us to see you here. And we're very excited. We want to listen to your story. Please share it with us.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. My name is Valeria. 2 years ago, after a short gap, I resumed teaching. Then I thought that there wouldn't be any problems because I had already my teaching diploma, a few years of positive work experience in a secondary school, all the certificates, and a quite good language practice abroad under my belt. However, I faced some challenges. I felt like students were different, unmotivated, lazy, addicted to their smartphones, and absolutely speechless. they didn't seem to care at all. You know, I always like the metaphor about studying, that is a fascinating sailing where each lesson is a reliable ship leading you to a great success. You know, sometimes I felt like a talking paddle trying to save the sinking boat in my classroom. By the way, I believe that only a perfect teacher has the superpower to speak only English as much as possible to fill any pauses over the lesson. But then I felt exhausted. I was always thinking about my lessons. I understood that something did not work. The time of everlasting preparation, choosing materials for my lessons started, and finally ended up with a burnout after just 2 months of work. I needed support, I needed changes and help. I was losing myself as a specialist because something went wrong. I felt it. I knew about CELT, of course, a wonderful course, but that time in the middle of school year, it was impossible. And to tell you the truth, getting out of my comfort zone, which CELT implies, would hardly have helped me at that time. In India, where I was working for 3 years, people say that if you really need something, life will give it to you, just don't miss your chance. You're supposed to be alert. And you know, this course, CELT-S, sounded like a breath air, and it was a right thing. Now I will try to tell you why. So the course is for teachers who work in secondary education and who would like to refresh and build their knowledge and skills. I found it extremely effective, well-structured and up-to-date. Each module has a number of lessons which all have a clear structure, and each module has been developed taking into account the specific traits of modern teenagers. I worked with my real students, improved my skills from lesson to lesson, and I saw their results. I had my own pace. I could spend much time as I needed on the problem areas. Moreover, I could select a module that was more significant that time and work out my weak points. For example, I could start with the classroom management to prevent discipline issues, first of all, and then take a module to work out language awareness, and then deal with types of lessons, effective planning or assessment. So you line up your work according to your and your students' needs and preferences. You know your students and you make a decision. Anyway, you have to complete all the parts of the course, of course. You study the information on the module, work on the platform, read additional materials and different articles in order to make your knowledge deeper. And it takes time, of course, but it's worth it. Then you do the portfolio task that has its own focus. So you prepare your lesson, take it in consideration. Then you teach your lesson. After all, you upload all the materials to the platform and wait for your tutor's feedback. And here comes magic. Well, not right away. You know, I remember I didn't want to read the first feedback from Milena, my tutor. I was absolutely embarrassed. I thought I had done something incorrect. How wrong I was. All the time, each comment, each correction, all the recommendations were so encouraging, accurate, and they came along at just the right time for me, and it's magic. This individual approach is exceptional. Can you imagine that a Cambridge tutor will help you personally to improve your lesson and report with your students. By the way, it's a great opportunity for mastering time management skills. You have to plan your work on the platform. You should meet your deadline. Otherwise, you would have to do all the tasks in the nick of time, and it wouldn't be so positive experience. So it's essential to think of your day-to-day schedule to complete the course. It's really very important. Also, I do like the idea of self-evaluation after teaching, where you have an opportunity to analyze your lesson. And very often on this stage, you understand what should have been done a little differently. And then receiving feedback from your tutor with the same idea, you're so pleased with yourself. And next time, you try to teach more effective lesson. You try to do your best. So I was able to deepen my theoretical perspectives of English language learning and teaching and enhance my teaching approach. I enjoyed all the modules of the course, but especially valued the module focusing on managing differences in the classroom and maintaining a constructive learning environment. It has to be said that I work at a pre-university school where students from 12 till 17 come from all over the city with their own background and different learning experience. So now teaching a mixed ability group is a great challenge, of course, but it is not a problem at all. Passing a TKT Module 1 exam is a prerequisite for getting a certificate. And here I must say that after the training, you will be able to do it without any difficulties. As for me, I didn't take any extra courses for preparation, and I didn't spend much time on it. Knowledge that I got studying on the course helped me pass this exam. So I see the results of my work now, and it's really very important, isn't it? I increased my self-confidence, and you know, my mood was getting better and better, and the quality and effectiveness of my lessons went up. And finally, I got my students involved into the process. I'm still learning, I'm searching, I'm trying new things, but I definitely know how it will work. Which cover I have to put my lesson in, what the stages of the skills or language lessons are, how to use videos and songs in the classroom, how to choose supplementary materials, how to assess my students and prevent the discipline problems in the classroom, how to use game-like activities profitably and prepare my students for exams, how to give clear instructions, feedback, and check students' understanding, how to become an effective teacher who is able to motivate their students. And, you know, I feel more confident now, competent, and even shrewd. And, you know, my students are not addicted to their smartphones. They are digitally smart. They are not dull at all if they have a chance of self-expression. They're so communicative if they have a real reason to talk, and they're so hardworking if they understand what to do, why they need to do it. And, I feel so enthusiastic now. And thanks my tutor, thanks Milena, thanks Cambridge, and my students for it. Thank you very much. Yeah, Milena, thank you very much. I see your comments, so it's my pleasure. And in future, I would like to try myself, passing CELT-P. Yeah, and as I said before, it's really hard work, and it's getting out my comfort zone is my problem, but I have to do it. So I think one day I will do it definitely, and at your school, under your control, because you're the best tutor ever. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Valeria. Thank you for this inspiring presentation. It was really, really interesting and useful for all of us to listen to your story. And this is really great that you don't stop and you're thinking about your future professional development. This is really, really important. I see many nice comments in the chat box. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. And that was the last final presentation of the first day of our conference, Become the Teacher You Want to Be. Dear friends, I would like to remind you that the recording of the webinar, your certificate, recording of the webinar will be added to our YouTube channel. I'm sharing the The link to our YouTube channel is in the chat, so please follow the link and subscribe to our channel, and all our webinars are added to YouTube. Yes, I still see many nice comments. So this is the end of the first day, and I would like to invite you to join us tomorrow. Tomorrow we are going to talk about CELT-P. CELT-P, the link to the webinar is in the chat. Please register if you haven't done this before. So it will be great session, overview, information from the trainer, and of course some feedback from former trainees, teachers who have already received their international certificate. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure. Enjoy the rest of your day, and there will be a follow-up email with all information, with the links to our website, your certificate of attendance, webinar recording, and if you want to find a teaching center in Russia or in other countries, please follow the link in the chat. Thank you very much, and see you tomorrow.
I always wanted to be an English teacher. People remember the teachers that meant something to them, that inspired them, that saw them for who they could be, recognized their potential, and helped them reach it. Becoming that teacher is who I want to be. And help them reach it. Becoming that and help them reach it. Becoming that teacher is who I want to be. To motivate my students, to support their learning and help them reach their goals. Learning a language is an exciting journey, but it isn't straightforward. Every learner needs support and encouragement, and every learner is different. I wasn't sure I'd have the skills to help all my students succeed. My Cambridge English teaching qualification gave me the knowledge and confidence to teach English. It also provided me real-life teaching experience and the skills to be able to find the right approach for the different challenges students face day to day. There are times where learning English can be challenging. I understand. I've been there too. The practical skills and knowledge I gained from taking a teaching qualification helped me to understand how my students learn English, how I can help them overcome their challenges, and keep them motivated throughout their learning journey. And I'm happy I've given them the confidence to succeed. Moments like this make it all worthwhile. I am proud to have the opportunity to help my students realize their potential and achieve their goals. Become the teacher you want to be.